Hello everybody, Claire Daly, Stampin Up demonstrator in Melbourne today. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Today I wanted to do a technique for you, show you how you can add some real wow to embossing folders. Now I love embossing folders. They are a really cheap way to add wow to your projects. Excuse me. So today we're going to be playing with the layered Florals Embossing Folder, which you'll find in the January to April Mini Catalogue, 2024 January to April Mini Catalogue. So I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques. The first one is how I created this card, which you get a lovely coloured effect there on the embossing. And then I'm going to show you how to use our new silicone brayer as well, and just give you a few different looks you can get with the silicone brayer. So I hope you enjoy today's video. I'd love you to support my channel by subscribing and hitting that bell so you know when new videos come out. And I thank you for being here today and hope you have a really great day. So our first step is to emboss our cardstock. So because it's a textured 3D embossing folder, we're going to be using the base plate number 1, and then we're going to be using number 4 plate. So we'll just pop those through. This helps me put the plate on, helps get it straight. Now with the embossing, make sure the seam goes in first. One beautiful effect. I love this embossing folder. Okay, we'll do the other two. Okay, and there's our bit in boho blue. So we have our 3 pieces. We have basic white, wild wheat, and boho blue. So we're going to start with the, excuse my finger there, we've cut off a bit of a nail and it's getting caught on everything, so I've got it very interestingly wrapped up. We're going to start with the basic white one, and I'm going to show you that using those daubers. So let's get our ink pads. We've got Gorgeous Grape, we've got Lost Lagoon, and we have got Fresh Freesia. So there's our 3 ink pads we're using. And I've got my sponge daubers there, individually labelled in my little holder. So I'm going to start on the little bits. So we'll start on the leaves. Now with the smaller bits, one of the tricks is to tap lightly, but also turn it a bit on its side if you've got smaller areas. So these little tiny ones here, I find you get a bit more control if you turn it on its side. So let's do those little ones first. And you can decide how much ink you want to add. Start with a small amount. Oops, otherwise that happens. Which is why I turn it on the side. Start with a smaller amount and then build up the colour if you want to. So the more colour you add, I think the more definition you get. And that's especially true on the big ones. So I've also got leaves. I've got these ones here. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'll show you the whole thing in a moment. But we the other bit is here. Excuse me a moment. That's just my phone ringing on my smartphone, on my smartwatch, which is plugged in and charging next to me. Okay, so the other bits, which is leaves, and these ones here at the base of the flowers. So you can do those as well. And I'll do these ones because so you can see. Now this isn't a perfect technique. You're going to get bits of ink in places, and that's okay because you're after the overall look, not perfection here. So the bigger ones, it's a little bit easier to add a bit more ink and get a bit more definition. Okay, let's aim to do this top half bit so you can see them all together. So, okay, got a little bit, I think that's a leaf, we'll do that bit anyway. We've got a little bit in here. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with the, whoops, Gorgeous Grape. And I'll do those other flowers. So there's so many different embossing folders you can do this on. I've done this lots of different embossing folders, and it's always really it's a card that always gets lots of hits on my Pinterest pages, on my Pinterest boards. This technique, so simple, and embossing folders are really affordable for your crafting. A really affordable way to add lots of extra wow, which is why I love them. Bit heavy-handed on that one. Here we go. Okay, I think that's all of, well, there's a leaf that I missed there, but that's okay. I think we'll do this one here. This one here, so that's Gorgeous Grape. And then the other colour that I'm going to be using is Fresh Freesia. Whoops, that was lucky. Wrong colour. Oh no, that's right colour, sorry. Right colour, wrong dauber. Okay. So the bigger areas are a little bit easier to achieve, and like I said, build up that colour, because when you get on those bits of real definition, you can it can really be more obvious if you put more colour on there. I find sort of working backwards is really helpful too, because I think that's where you get the most of the ink then sort of falls naturally as it would. The light, sorry, falls naturally as it would. So I'd probably have a little bit more than that. As you can see, it's super simple technique, but it's really, whoops, I'm going a bit heavy-handed here. Really, so it just shows you to be a bit more light-handed than I am. Super, and have a practice, do a few sheets, practice so that you get the feel of how much you need to be putting on. Going backwards, yeah. Because you want to get that variation in the colour, and you get that variation from the different amount of ink that gets put on with the embossing. Some higher embossed areas get more ink and some other areas don't. So you can see there, let's hold this piece in half, how that's looking. And those colours look really well, look really good together. So we've got Fresh Freesia, Lost Lagoon and Gorgeous Grape. And so that's turned out with the daubing, and I'll show you the finished product again. So there's the finished product where I've just added simple sentiment, used the bar punch to pop a bit of foliage behind there, and then a piece of metallic silver trim from the Simply Elegant trim pack. And then I've used a bit of, I've trimmed it down to size, and I've used a little bit of Lost Lagoon to matte it, and then I have used Fresh Freesia as the base card. So I love how that turned out. And as I said, started with just a simple piece of embossed cardstock. So lots of different colour combinations you could use and get lots of different effects with that. So let's move on to the another one, to the next techniques I want to show you. And these ones are using the new Silicon Brayer in the now the Silicon Brayer is different than the rubber brayer. It's different. This is in the Mini Catalogue, and see these little bits here? They're so that you can stand it up, because if you rest your brayer like this with the rubber bit or silicone bit down, you can actually get a bit of a groove or a bit of a flat bit on your brayer, and that can actually affect how the ink goes on. So always make sure that you stand it there. What I'm finding is that the coverage of ink and the application of ink is much lighter with the Silicon Brayer as opposed to the rubber brayer. But for this technique that I'm going to show you, that's actually absolutely perfect. And that's actually what we want. And I really do think this is the benefit of the Silicon Brayer. So what we're going to do is actually be brayering ink over the embossing. Now I've already done some colours. So this one I've done Bubble Bath on white, which I think turned out beautiful. This one I have done Crumb Cake on Crumb Cake, and this one I have done Basic White craft ink onto Crumb Cake. So I'm going to show you something similar today with some different colours. So let's have a look. So the two bits I have embossed, actually I didn't do another white bit. I'll do that in a moment. Actually I might stop the video and do that now, so we've got an extra one as well. Okay, here we go. We have got the Whisper White, Basic White, not Whisper White piece. So I'm going to do a light colour on that one. I'm going to do Soft Sea Foam this time. So we'll open that ink pad. Now when you are adding ink to the brayer, one important thing to remember is not to go back and forth like that, because all you will do is get ink on one part of the brayer and not on the other part of the brayer. So inking up the brayer, you always want to be just continually rolling it over the ink pad. Make sure you're getting it on all of the different areas of the brayer in case you have a wider area. And the other thing to remember is when you're applying the ink, use a really light hand. Like, don't, applying the ink to the brayer, it's okay to be a little bit more heavy-handed, but when you're applying it over here, don't press really hard, otherwise you get a lot more ink in those on the non-embossed parts. So what I'm doing is starting off the end of the card, and it doesn't matter because we've got our gorgeous glass matte studio, and we are just going over like so. Now you can see I had a really light touch there. Some of those bits on the side didn't get done as much. Very light touch, because you don't want to get lots of ink on the areas that aren't embossed. So we'll wait for that one to dry, but I really love how that looks on the Basic White. So that's with Soft Sea Foam. My label is a little bit lighter. That's with Soft Sea Foam on Basic White. So to clean your brayer, just on your Stampin' Scrub, I'll just add a little bit of, so onto your Stampin' Scrub, the same way as if you were adding ink to it. managed to pick up a little hair there, which I'm trying to get off. There. And drying it off on the other side. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to be using wild wheat. Now first of all I want to just wipe that off. So with the glass mat, you don't get the other coloured ink on there. So I'm using the cleaning cloth that comes with the glass mat. Now this is the glass mat that you get for free when you join Stampin' Up in February as an additional gift. It's valued at $106 with the silicone mat that also goes on top. And I would definitely recommend doing that. Even if you just want to join for yourself to get the discount, it's a fabulous offer that's on at the moment. And I'd welcome you to join with me from anywhere in Australia. I've got a very active team that does lots of online catch-ups, so you'll be able to, whoopsie, wrong way. You'll be able to interact with us a lot. And even if you just want to share the love of Stampin' Up and craft for yourself. I've got lots of ladies in my team that do that right around Australia. I've got other ladies that enjoy sharing Stampin' Up with others and through classes or friends and family putting in orders. So that's another way to do that as well. So I'll pop the link down below. If you've got any questions, let me know. Now this one we're going to be adding the ink. Now this stamp set is one of the new ink colours this year, so it hasn't, sorry, this ink pad, so it hasn't been used as much. So the ink will probably be darker. So we're just doing that rolling forward, rolling forward, rolling forward. Okay, and we're going to start off again. And we're going to be so I'm not being too heavy-handed. Has got a couple of bits there. But otherwise it's just popping the ink on some of the more highly raised areas, and so you're getting that nice look of the extra colour on those areas, which will give it a lot of perception of depth and texture on your card, which will be beautiful. So I'll wait for that one to dry as well because it looks different when you're drying. So again, we're going to be cleaning off our mat with this cleaning cloth. I keep my cleaning cloth just in a plastic self-sealing bag and zip lock bag, should I say, and that keeps that nice and moist so that we can just use that to clean, and then it very quickly air dries. So I just want to clean off this again. Now for this next one, we're going to be using craft white ink, and this time I'm choosing to do that one onto boho blue. So we'll get up. Now when you buy the white craft ink, you get the ink pad uninked and you get the refill. Because I've only just done this in the last couple of days, there should be plenty of ink on there, we'll see. So again, we're going to be inking up, continuing to go forward and forward and forward till we've got a nice coverage of ink over the entire ink pad. Okay, so again, starting off the cardstock, we're going to be rolling that over. Love how this one turns out. The more you put on, the more ink that comes off the brayer, and that's the effect that you get, which is, whoops, really beautiful. So let me clean that. Now with this one, what I'll do, because it's craft ink, which is a bit more pigmented, I'm going to actually wipe it with a baby wipe, and then make sure I rinse it under lots of warm water so that you actually get all of that off. It would clean off in my Stampin' Scrub, but then I would need to clean my Stampin' Scrub, so I find it easier to do it that way. So that's what I'll be doing with my brayer. Let's just wipe that other ink off. Okay, so let's have a look at our colours again. So here's our boho blue with the basic white. Here's our wild wheat with the wild wheat ink, and here is our basic white with the soft sea foam. And then those other ones that I did was the crumb cake with the basic white, the crumb cake with the crumb cake ink, and the basic white with the bubble bath ink. So I'd be interested as to which one you like the look of the most. To me, I'm probably thinking these two are my favorites, the boho blue but I really like the look of this one as well. So yeah, lots of different looks you can get by combining different colors. And then of course the same thing when you're using the daubers on the embossed panels as well, to get almost like creating a bit of a scene. So I hope you like those. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will be back with you again soon. Remember, you will find the link to today's products underneath there, as well as information about joining. And if you like today's video, I'd really love for you to subscribe to my channel for a little bit of encouragement, and also to click that subscribe button and the little bell so that you can be informed when new videos come out. Bit of encouragement. I'm trying to do a few more videos this year, so yeah, I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions about today's technique or any comments, love to hear them in the comments section below. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.